dream is a Lamborghini, let's say. And they have to save, and they have to finance it and work out how they're gonna pay for it, and they have to get the garage for it, and it's a big deal. So by me trivializing that big deal, it highlights to me the echelon of my life. If I walk into a car dealer and say, what have you got right now? Oh, this and this, okay. Don't ask the price, don't care what it is, don't care what it costs, and pay for it, and then leave it at the dealership for 4 months before eventually it collects on a truck, because I never even pick it up, and it goes into some storage unit somewhere. It's like I get other people's dreams with ease. I take their dream scenario and I trivialize it into just, yeah, okay, I don't even want it. And I think that's what I enjoy about it. It's kind of like
that is hedonistic.
Well, it's kind of like a man's in love with a supermodel. Oh, I love the supermodel, and he writes on her Instagram, and well, these dudes, this is real. A man's in love with a girl on Instagram. She's got 3 million followers, and she's beautiful, and he's liking her posts and writing underneath it, and he's inboxing her, and she's not replying, and he's obsessed with her, and I'm like, yeah, okay, coffee. Fine, Tuesday. Do I really want to talk to her? No. But this man wants it so bad, but I have to make it so ridiculously easy. I guess it's kind of like a peacock putting up his feathers, you know? Or a lion saying, don't come near my territory, don't come near my tree, or I'll annihilate.
If you were in a room with ice cream experts, and all they talked about was ice cream, how to make it, how to store it, how to move it, the different flavors, the size of the cartons it's in, how much it costs to produce, if all they talked about was ice cream and you were in that room, sooner or later, when someone comes to you to ask you something about ice cream, you're going to know the answer.
Yeah.
But you're going to accidentally know some shit about ice cream. If you're in a room of people who only talk about money, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So you need to be around people who are about it. And the problem is with the people out here, everyone has a dream, but not many people have a plan. A dream and a plan are different things. When you say to guys, do you want to be rich? Yeah, I want to be rich. How will you get rich? One day, when the shit comes in. So you can have a dream with no plan. When's the last time something fantastic has ever happened on accident? When's the last time you've seen a big jacked dude and you say, hey man, how'd you get so jacked? And he goes, dunno, oops. Dunno, it just happened. No, he planned it. He went to the gym, he ate a certain way, he planned his meals, he had to make it happen. It's exactly the same with getting rich. You need a plan to get rich, right? Most people everyone out there has a dream, but very few people have a plan. Yep. If you're surrounded by people who have a plan to get rich, and you provide value to them in some way, because they're not going to drag you up if you ain't doing nothing, because that's what friendship is. Friendship is value exchange.
Yeah.
If you provide value to them, sooner or later you're going to begin to make money. Let me tell you something. When I was broke, and like I said, I have a bunch of money now. I was broke. This is not like I was broke, but from like a middle-class family. I was broke, single mother, public government housing, no car. I had to run to the gym, broke. When I was flat broke, the only of my friends I'd sit around and talk to were my friends who would talk about money. The guys who would sit and talk about video games or sit around and talk about football, I wouldn't hang around with them. I only used to sit and talk to my friends, talk about money. None of us had any money, right? But if we walked into a coffee shop and we bought coffee, we would then sit there over our coffee and analyze, how did this coffee shop make us give them our money? Because that's what's happened. We've given our money to this coffee shop. Why? Did we really want coffee? Where is it located? Is it in a convenient location? Is it because of the brand of the coffee? Is it because the waitress is cute? Why are we in this particular coffee shop? Why didn't we go to that one? Why are we in this one? If we were to open up a coffee shop next door, how could we outcompete this one? What's the rent for this place? What's the margin on a cup of coffee? Everyone in here's a man. If you notice, everyone in here's a man in a business suit. Why is the person serving not a hot girl? Why is it a guy? Do they sell sandwiches? Do they sell cake? Like, start to actually think. Think about the money. And then if you do that every single time you spend money on anything, you're going to end up realizing there's tons of gaps. There's gaps in the market everywhere. You'll start to sit there and go, you know what? I could open up a coffee shop right next door to this fucking coffee shop. Change this, and this, and murder this place. But people don't think about it. People just give their money away all day, and it never even crosses their mind about how they were convinced to give their money away.
Yeah.
You know? Because if you want to get rich, you're not the Federal Reserve. You can't create money from the sky. You need to convince other people to give you their money. So every time you give your money away, work out why.
Yep.
You know, so you need to be surrounded by people who think this way. You need to adopt this attitude. I've always had it even when I was poor. You need to start to realize that the traditional methods of creating wealth, which are advertised to you, are a scam. The idea that you can just work really hard, save up, get a mortgage, and in 35 years pay the house off, and then you'll be rich. That's not real. That's what your parents did, right? The average cost of a house during your parents' era was like 4 times the wages or 5 times the yearly wage or something. Now it's completely out of control.
Yeah.
It's completely out of control. And patience is another thing I'll make a big point. Patience is a huge enemy to getting rich. I don't care what these Gary Vee and these dorks, because Gary Vee's a nerd. Gary Vee's a nerd, right? He may have some money, right? But if I were to grab him by his neck, hey bro, you gotta be really tough and you gotta really work hard. Shut the fuck up. Pussy. He's a bitch, right? So when all these dorks are talking about patience is what they tell the slaves to convince the slaves to keep being slaves. That's what it is. If I was in charge of the world, right? And I had a working class of slaves, which is what the working class is. I don't use that word slaves unironically, right? You're slaves, and I'll tell you why. If I can create something from thin air, and I can create unlimited amounts of it, and I can make you give up your life for this thing, you're my slave. If I could create dollars from thin air, unlimited amounts, and I can make you sacrifice your life.
Fiat currency.
Make you sacrifice your life for a tiny percentage of what I can create from thin air, you are my slave. Because even if you say no, I'll say, I'll give you some more. Oh, okay. Oh, here's some more of the free thing I make. Here, go do it. Go clean the streets, idiot. You're a slave, right? So the slaves, what they do to keep the slaves being slaves is they advertise patience. Don't worry, here's what you do. You go to school, you go to college, you go to university, you get in debt, you get a mortgage, you get in more debt. You work really hard. Don't worry, your life's shit now, but in the future it'll be good. Don't worry, a good day's coming. You might retire with a 401k. Keep working, keep going, slave. You can do it. Patience is how they trick you into keep being a slave.
Yep.
I turned myself from no money to my first million in 2 years to 30 million 3 years later. That's how fast you can make money if you're about money. If you're about it, right? So I've never believed in patience. You gotta forget the patience. You gotta forget the people who
Money loves speed, man.
Money loves speed.
Yeah.
You gotta forget the people who aren't about money around you. It's gotta be all you think about, all you talk about. You gotta start producing. You gotta start attracting attention one way or another. And if you do all those things, you will start to make some money. But next time you're sitting with your friends, this is a challenge for every single person watching this. Next time you sit with your friends, unprompted, come in, sit down, and just join in the conversation. Just join in whatever they're talking about. And after about 20 seconds, sit and think, this is bullshit. This is not gonna make any of us rich. They're talking about this, that, this bitch, fucking football game, this guy. This is not gonna make any of us rich.
Yep. Nonsense.
Eureka!
The wealthy upbringing. We come from a very poor upbringing. When we moved to England, we were in a homeless shelter for the first year as we were trying to find council housing and a single mother council estate. I've got every excuse everyone else has got to be a criminal asshole, and I'm not. So, you know, and people go, oh, well, you're lucky you could kickbox. Listen, getting up and running to this gym because my mom didn't have a car and we couldn't afford the bus, and running 4 miles training, then running 4 miles home is not luck. You could have done that and didn't want to. So, you know, people may meet barriers, but if you genuinely apply yourself. 60 in the world, Lou.
Man.
How did we pull this off? Didn't I see you working in Chipotle?
Yeah.
Bro, Tristan used
I was a brokey.
You were a brokey. Tristan used to work in Pret. He was a brokey. And I used to work in a fishmonger's carrying boxes of ice.
We used to be brokies.
We were brokies.
I want to make something very clear. I come from a very poor family. My mother and father broke up when I was 11. My father stayed in America to play chess. There's no money in pro chess. My mom and I, we all moved to a homeless shelter in Lutoning. I grew up in a homeless shelter. So I grew up as poor as you can go. And I went to a council house, went to a really bad school.
Full house. Just us two. Oh, you're full?
Full. Okay.
Nathan and Andrew have been looking for a cheap hotel for well over an hour, but haven't been able to find anywhere within their budget.
I had no money. I'm carrying boxes of ice. I'm a smart guy. I'm not playing chess anymore, right? I need to do something which drains me so that I can go to sleep at night without frustration. And if I kickbox, if I run 3 miles to the gym and then fight for 3 hours and run 3 miles home, at least I can sleep. I literally couldn't sleep. Kickboxing was my answer. I just started kicking people's ass and I felt a little bit better. That was kind of how it worked.
When I was 21, me and Andrew used to have no food. I used to drive my broken Volkswagen Golf
to the KFC restaurant in Dunstable, United Kingdom, and I used to sit in my car, and you couldn't ever eat anyone's leftover